Hello everybody.
Welcome back to the Kia Hyundai channel. My name is Gabby.
And I'm Charlotte.
And today we have the most exciting video ever.
It's a sit-down video.
That means we have a car that is not here, but we got photos of it this time. Big deal. So this is the 2023 Telluride. It's been long awaited. We're going to show you the current Telluride as well too, just so we can see what's changing. Just because the Telluride, body-wise, style-wise, size-wise, it's generally going to be the same, but there's a lot of styling changes, and we're going to go through all that today. We'll start off with the exterior highlights. So Charlotte will read off some of the notes that we have for the highlights.
Yeah, so this vehicle, it's been given a refresh for the 23 from Kia. So on the front, we're going to see a couple different things. We're seeing new designs for the headlights, and then also for the fog lamps. The grille and the bumper are also going to look different. So on the front of the vehicle, we're no longer having that Telluride badging across the top, as you can see. You just kind of have your grille and also the silver accented Kia logo. So that has been removed. And then also, if we take a look at the side profile, we'll see that we've got new wheels. These vehicles, aside from the X Pro, which is a new trim we'll talk about in a little bit, you're going to be seeing 20-inch tires that have been redesigned on this vehicle. And then also for the new trims, which we'll keep getting into, you are going to see a little bit of higher ground clearance than the trims that we have seen previously. And then, of course, when it comes to the rear, like I said, we're seeing a new design for the taillights, new bumper design, and like I said, all emblems continuing onto the back are going to be that nice silver color to give us some good contrast.
And it's not just the exterior that's revised, it's also the interior. And we have a lot of fun new colors, not only for your exterior paint, but your interior leather choice. So let's get down into it. Interior highlights, you see we have a 4.2-inch TFT IP cluster on the EX, and then above that, so on the higher models, you're going to have the 12.3-inch. So what you've seen on the EV6, the Sportage, it's going to be that big screen that kind of merges into your middle or center head unit. It looks like one giant screen, but there's two different screens.
Very futuristic.
Very futuristic, if you will, yes. And that's it right over there. We are going to kind of blow up these images so you can actually see it because it's hard for you guys to see here. And these photos are online as well too, so you can actually search up the new 2023 Kia Telluride to get a closer look. We have new seat patterns, a new steering wheel, a larger wireless phone charger. So just like vehicles keep getting bigger and bigger each year, so do phones. There are some giant phones out there. And I've had a lot of customers ask, I wonder if my phone's going to fit. It will now. There you go. Second row side airbags, second and third row seatbelt reminders, and a 110-volt inverter in your cargo space. So that's on the X Pro trim level. Now I'm going to show you the interior colors. So this is pretty fun. When you get to the SX model, you get the choice of either black or red Napa leather. And then on the trim lines above, the X line and the X Pro, you'll have the choice of terracotta brown or sage green. Now we have seen the sage green in the Sportage X line limited. It's actually more of a gray, so don't be too afraid or too scared of green interior.
Because it says green.
Yeah.
And we've actually done a video showing the sage green on the Sportage. So if you want to look at that for a bit more of a frame of reference, obviously it's always harder when you're looking at a video screen, but it really is a nice color.
Yes, it's actually very, very nice. Very nice. Not green at all, I would say. Love the burgundy. They give kind of styling images on the side. They're bedrooms, and I think one of them, yeah, they're bedrooms compared to the interiors.
Because it's just so comfy.
It's so comfy. It reminds you of your bed. There you go. And we'll scroll down. This is some more of the styling comparisons. So for the X line or the SX and the SX Limited, it looks a little bit more sleek, a little bit more, I don't know how you say, modern, luxurious.
Yeah.
And the X line and the X Pro are going to be a little bit more rugged off-road. So just like the X line for the Sorento or the X line for the Sportage. So they included a little description. I'm going to read it. The new Telluride introduces two new trim levels, X Line and X Pro, for Kia owners who choose to go off the beaten path every so often. Both models offer a roster of exclusive upgrades and enhancements over other Telluride trims. The X Pro model builds off the X Line model. Furthermore, the X Line model replaces the former Telluride SX Night Sky Edition. So Charlotte, what are our SX Night Sky customers going to do?
So if you have ordered a 2022 Night Sky Telluride, you are going to be getting the X line, the 23 X line. That is going to be your vehicle. Yeah, if you still want to take it.
If you still want it. We're not forcing you.
But with that being said, if you want the option to then take the X Pro, you're going to get that option as well. So you can kind of, like what Gabby said, the X line is replacing the Night Sky. But if you do want the option of the X Pro, you can exercise that right as well.
Yes. We'll go through some of the styling comparisons. So on the SX and the SX Limited, you have the brighter accents, so more chromes. You have a satin chrome actually, so it's not too shiny. It's a little easier to clean as well too, and I find it looks more modern compared to the classic old school chrome look. You got black inserts in your grille and a light color on your front bumper. And then the X Line and the X Line Pro, you can see it's a little bit more blacked out, a little bit more dark. A lot of people loved the Night Sky Telluride because of this, so this is why we say this is probably going to be your top choice for the styling side of it. A lot of dark, rugged accents for an athletic image.
I really like that.
Yeah.
I like the dark metallic. I think it looks really, really good.
And then it says the new available features for the SX and the SX Limited. Of course, these features will still transfer over here. It's just the styling that's different. So you see highway drive assist number 2, forward collision avoidance with junction turning, and lane offset and lane change. 10-inch heads-up display, full display with the digital rear view mirror. That's going to be really cool because we haven't seen that yet in any of our cars. Digital key, so essentially your key will be in your phone, similar to Apple Pay, like your Apple Wallet. You'll have a tow mode in the X Line and the X Pro features, or in the X Pro trim levels, new wheel design, all-terrain tires, and 5,500 towing capacity.
So that's for the X Pro. The
Yes.
X Line is 5,000 pounds. And Gabby mentioned tow mode, which we're seeing new for 23 for Kia. We've seen it on the 23 Palisade already. But pretty much what that does is it adjusts the towing powertrain profile. That way it holds the lower gears a little bit longer and you're not shifting as frequently. So just to give it a little bit of a smoother towing experience.
Yes.
If you want to see a little bit more about what that's going to look like, we will have our Palisade video linked down below, which is going to show tow mode. Also shows the seatbelt reminder as well, which we're seeing on these vehicles too.
Very nice.
And then the one thing I'll just, again, talk about the X Pro is it doesn't have the 20-inch tires. It's got 18-inch tires for a little bit more of a rugged off-roading appearance.
Vibe.
Yeah.
And then the ride height is 10 millimeters higher than the SX and SX Limited models. So now we're going to stop and we're going to get into the trim levels. So let's get into the trim levels. We're starting off with the EX, and it's already very, very well equipped. Some things that carry over through all the trim levels are, of course, the powertrain, the engine. So you still have that beautiful, or that powerful 3.8 liter V6 engine. The output is 291 horsepower and 262 pound-foot of torque. On the regular models, or sorry, the EX, the SX, and the SX Limited, you have a towing capacity of 5,000 pounds. And as Charlotte mentioned, the
X Line and X Pro have 5,500 pounds. So a little bit more.
Very nice, yes. My laptop's going to die, so we're going to do this quickly. We're also going to have the screen shared to the video, so you can stop, take a pause, and read what each trim comes with. Because you can see, even on the EX, the entry level, it is
doesn't
packed.
all fit on the screen.
Yeah, it does not all fit on the
There's
screen.
There's a lot to unpack here.
Yes, a lot. You can see the MSRP starts under 50,000 for the EX model. We'll head down and show you what's next. This is going to be your SX model, starting under $55,000. And here you'll get your dual sunroof. You'll get a couple more fancy kind of trim looks, so more chromes around it. You'll get the premium sound system. The SX Limited is where you're going to get your 7 seats, so the captain's chairs, as opposed to the 8 seats with the bench in the center. And that starts under $59,000. And keep in mind, these are still the more kind of sleek looking models. Now we get into the X Line and the X Pro.
Oh, with the SX Limited, you also get the 10-inch heads-up display.
Yes, that's right. So that's going to be the best for the tech, for the kind of sleek models. And then with the X Line, X Pro, you get everything else. So the X Line starts under $61,000, and the X Pro, you're at $63,000. So under $63,000. The big add-ons between the X Line and the X Pro is going to be your towing capacity, the outlet in the back, your X Pro badging, and then the wheels and tires. So the X Line is still going to have the old 20-inch black alloy wheels, and the regular just tow mode, so not the higher towing capacity though. Now we'll take a look at the grills. So you can see the EX, it's very chromy, so a satin chrome around the accent with black inserts in the center. Same thing here, it's just a different screen insert. It's going to be easier for you guys to see on your screen. And when you get X Line Pro, you got your dark metallic with gloss black in the center. These are your wheels. So you got 20-inch alloys for everything except the X Pro. So there's your design for your EX, your SX and SX Limited, X Line, and then X Pro. And we'll head down one more. These are your colors. So this is the most exciting thing for me. Let's close that. All right, so we have the classic glacial white pearl. We all know what that looks like. Black, gravity gray, dark moss, which we've had in our previous model, or previous Tellurides. Midnight Lake Blue, so this is new. Dawning Red, which we have on the Sportage, we have seen. It's a gorgeous red. I'm really excited to see the Midnight Lake Blue because never had that before. Wolf Gray, which is very similar to your gray on the Stinger, the ghost gray there. So we love that color as well. And Jungle Green. Now, Jungle Green is only available on the X line and the X Pro. So you can see everything's kind of blocked off there. That means it's only available here. You still get the choice of either black interior or terracotta brown. And then the X Pro, you get sage green, terracotta brown, and black.
So you could do green on green.
Green on green if you want, yeah.
But we have seen the jungle green on the Sportage.
On the sage green interior too. Yeah. It looks nice. So it's very sleek. It sounds crazy, but it looks good. All right. And then here are interior color choices. So you get the choice of either black or red on the SX Limited. So you get the Napa leather. The only exception is with Gravity Gray and Midnight Blue. You can only get black. And then I believe the Dawning Red will be the same. Yeah, so no red interior with the red exterior. Once you get into Wolf Gray, you can get red interior again. And then same thing for our X Line and X Pro. You get both options here, or 3 options, 2 options. Only 1 option for Gravity Gray exterior, black exterior, or dark moss. There's no choice. And then Midnight Lake Blue, you get the brown, you get the just brown there. Dawning Red, you only get the choice of black interior, which is strange, I guess. That's a lot of colors going on though, so I kind of respect that. Wolf Gray, you get the choice of all 3 or all 2 there, and then same with Jungle Green. And there's a closer look at our interior colors. Now we're going to take a look at our current Telluride and kind of talk about what's different, or we're going to give you a nice pan over so you can actually see what's going to be different.
And imagine.
Just imagine, just picture it. We don't have a 23 to show you, so that's all we got right now. All right, so now we're sitting here with probably one of our last 2022 Tellurides.
Yeah.
So this is an SX model. This is the second one from the bottom, so above the EX, still below the SX Limited and the Night Sky. Styling-wise, though, the shape or the body of the vehicle is still going to be very similar. Its accents, its interior, its technology, and its features that are going to be different. So definitely refer back to our last sort of screens to get everything. We're just going to do the basics. So one big thing that a lot of customers asked about, these amber lights, that big orange rectangle, gone. She's not going to be here anymore. Bye-bye. I'm a little bit sad about it, but I also think the new headlights look amazing. So I think it's going to be a little bit more sharp and a little bit more futuristic and stylish. What else?
I think it'll look cool.
Yeah.
Also, when it comes to these vehicles, of course, on the front, like what we mentioned, the Telluride badging is going to be gone on the front. The grille's going to sit up a little bit higher. And if you have the X Line or X Pro, you're going to be seeing that dark chrome with the glossy black grille as well. And then for those vehicles, your ground clearance is also going to be 10 millimeters more. So you're going to get a little bit more height on that vehicle too. Mm-hmm. Fog lights are all going to be redesigned, stuff like that as well. And then I guess the engine's going to be the same.
Yeah, engine's going to be the same. I wanted to show the color quickly just because this color is still going to translate to the new model. So I'll have Mark kind of get a little closer. This is called Gravity Gray. So this is our darkest gray. There's still going to be that wolf, almost clayish primer gray. Wheels, these are 20-inch alloys. Of course, you'll still have 20-inch alloys on everything except the X Pro, but there'll be different designs. So once again, refer to the last slide.
Make your little collage.
We'll make a collage, yeah.
You can screenshot this video, cut it out, design your own Telluride.
You can make a vision board. Roof rails will be different too. So on the EX, SX, and SX Limited, it'll still be kind of this nice flush rail like this. But on the X Line and the X Pro, there's going to be those raised roof rails, kind of aiding or helping with that rugged look. I hate saying that, but
it's the best word to describe it, though.
It's the only word to describe it. You got it. And then back here, one thing that some people may be bummed about, but I think it still looks good, everything's going to remain in this kind of aluminum finish, or this satin chrome, if you will. There's going to be no blacked out lettering. So it's still going to say Telluride on the rear. You're still going to have this rear wiper. Mm-hmm. Just it's not going to be blacked out. Everything else will be dark chrome though, or dark accents on the X Line and X Pro.
Yeah. The biggest thing for the rear is just that, again, the taillights are going to be redesigned. Mm-hmm. They are going to be LEDs, which is super nice. And yeah, like what Gabby was saying, you'll still have your rear spoiler, but I think a lot of us were also anticipating them doing the hidden wiper. So it's interesting seeing in the pictures that the wiper is still in its normal spot. So very interesting.
It is. Now we'll take a look inside, show you some things that are going to be different, and the seating configuration as well too.
All right, so I've taken a seat in the driver's seat, and I'll have Mark kind of pan to give you guys an overview as well. That way you guys can see what the dash is currently like. So it's going to be set up very similar to this for the EX. It's actually pretty much going to be the same. You're going to have your smaller screen, then your bigger infotainment center. Now on every trim that's going to be above the EX, which is the base model, is you are getting that full wrap around almost Supervision cluster that we've seen on the Sportage, we've seen on the EV6. And if you want to see what that looks like in a video, we'll make sure that we link our Sportage videos too. That way you can take a look at them. So we know that that is something that we're going to be seeing. We're going to be seeing some different trim and different accents on the interior, different seating patterns as well, depending on the type of leather that you have and also depending on the trim. And then also we're seeing the appearance of new features like tow mode, generally to activate it on the Palisade. It's over here in this area, so I'm assuming that will be very similar. And then also with the rear seat occupancy, the seatbelt reminder, I'm sure that we'll probably see that up here on the screen or built into the dash, similar to what we see on the Palisade as well. But right now, that's just a little bit of speculation. That's just kind of what we're thinking. So now we can hop in the back seat. We'll take a look at seating configuration as well. So like Gabi mentioned, that this is the SX, which is still an 8-seater vehicle. I'm going to unlock it. That would be helpful. And then as we move into the SXL on the 23 is when you're going to get into your captain's chairs. So instead of having this middle seat, you're going to have the 2 captain's chairs aisle to get back into the back seat, and then the other ones in the rear as well. So that will all be very similar. Again, I'm assuming we'll see the same seat patterns in the second row and in the third row as well. And then cargo space generally looks like it's going to be the same. So we'll show you guys that too. The only differences are going to be the 110 volt in the rear on the X Pro. So this is it when all of the seats are up. Cargo space. Underneath, we can open this up. And we know that we do have a real spare tire in this vehicle too. I always struggle with saying that. And then I'll drop these down. That way you guys can just get a sense of what the cargo space is like when you're just utilizing the second row as well. So tons of space still in this vehicle. Definitely well loved. Very, very good for all of your excursions, any camping trips, any grocery trips, any shopping trips, or just driving around that you may be doing.
All right, so I hope you guys like this chaotic video. I know it's a little bit hard to imagine the new Telluride on the old style, but we tried to make it work. Let us know if you have any other questions. And like always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We are the first channel, or the channel that will be the first to give you new vehicle news. So if you ring your bell for notifications, you can be the first to know. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time.